Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Create with Tina. Thank you for joining me today. I'm showing you how to create a gorgeous Christmas card using the Delicate Pines bundle, which includes the stamp and die cuts along with the Elegant Pines DSP. Now I have to tell you, this DSP is so beautiful and it totally helps you create the most beautiful card. Seriously, it's so easy. You will just layer pieces of this cardstock together using the die cuts, and the dimension you're going to come out with is so beautiful, and the card looks stunning, and it comes together way faster than it looks like it would. You have a card that feels fancy, but it's super quick to make. This one you're going to love. I mean, look at that. The dies in this set, they fit right over the images in the DSP, and so there's no stamping required to get these beautiful snowflakes. You simply cut them out with the die cuts. So let's get started. So what I chose was a piece of shaded spruce cardstock for my card base, and it's 4¼ by 11 folded in half. And then I chose two die cuts from the kit to use as standalone die cuts. And what I mean by that is, when you get a bundle from Stampin' Up, you have lots of dies that don't even coordinate with any of the stamps. They are just extra dies. And then I'm also going to use the stylish shape dies, and I'm going to use two of the circles. If you don't have this set, it is a must-have set, and I learned the hard way. I didn't buy it for over a year and didn't realize what I was missing until I went on a retreat with my friends. Saw how much they used it, and I love it. So here we go. Here are the pieces for the card, and I've already cut out that snowflake from the DSP, and I've cut out some leaves using that standalone die with the shaded spruce. And now what I'm going to do is show you how easy it is to cut some of the other pieces. So I have a scrap of my gold foil cardstock here, and I'm going to take those two circle dies from the stylish shape, and I'm going to layer them together to create a ring. Instead of a solid circle, I want a kind of a thicker ring. And then I'm going to stick on some of these other standalone dies that make pretty little branches, and I'm going to run it right through the embossing folder, and that'll just make a few extra pieces for layering. So remember, I said that this card is actually like magic because it's all done with these die cuts, no stamping, and you get so much dimension doing it this way. So now what I'm doing is I'm running the traditional wreath embossing folder through the die cut machine as well, and I did a partial embossing on the front of this basic white cardstock. So you saw that embossing folder was much larger than the card front, but it created a beautiful half wreath, which will be the perfect spot for layering on my elements. Now I'm using liquid glue to attach this embossed piece to the card because it has a lot of ridges. So I felt like the liquid glue would get in those ridges a little bit easier than the tape, but then I used my tape to attach the next layer. I really am and I like tape adhesive the best, and that's because I predominantly scrapbook and I'm used to it. But liquid adhesive is growing on me, and there is a lot of good uses for it. So here I am just adding some dots around that gold ring that I cut out because my tape is too wide to really do an effective job, and it would be messy. So the liquid glue is perfect for this. Okay, so now we just are going to start layering, and seriously, this is one of my favorite things about the dies that come in the Delicate Pine bundles. They are so simple to work with. You don't need a bunch of stamping. You just are going to cut pieces and layer them together, and you're going to get this instant dimensional elegant look. And you'll see when we're done, it feels like it's one of those cards that took forever, but honestly, it comes together really fast. And especially if you already have some of these die cuts cut. As I was cutting, I ended up with extra pieces, and I just tossed them right back in with the die cuts, and so I'm ready to go on the next card. So here I am just layering on pieces, and I'm actually using the glue dots that I have, these little sheets of glue dots. It's another thing I love from Stampin' Up. We didn't have sheets of glue dots like this was close to my heart, and these come in their kits. So they come in the card kits and the paper pumpkin kits, and they are fabulous. They are so easy to use, and that release paper, it comes off so easy. You saw me use my fingernail and just pop it off. So really, really fun. I'm glad I have them. Now I'm going to add the die cut, the snowflake, and I use a lot of dimensionals. I know I use way more than probably most people, but that comes from my scrapbooking background, because if I pop things up, I don't want them smashed in the scrapbook when I put the pages in. So I'm getting the die cut ready to go. I've added the dimensionals and I've set it down on the card, and then I see where else do I want to add a few more bits and pieces of dies to have it just create an even more full dimensional look. Now the only stamping I'm doing is on the sentiments for this card. So I pulled out the shaded spruce ink and I pulled off one of the sentiments from the set, and I'm going to stamp it, but I can't see it very good using white, basic white cardstock on this white sheet. So I go ahead and put it on top of this crumb cake cardstock so that I can see a little better where to place it. And I didn't like how I stamped it, so I flipped it over because no one's ever going to see the back side. So there's my sentiment, easy peasy, ready to go. And now we're going to finish the card. And what I'm going to do here is add some ribbon. This is some new ribbon. I think it's new. Maybe it's just new to me, but it's ribbon that you can find in the Stampin' Up website, and I will be sure to link to it below. I can't remember the exact name right now, which is silly, but I'll link it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the ribbon super easy here. I'm just going to zigzag it back and forth behind this area, and using a little bit of adhesive to hold it down as I fold it back and over on itself. So there's nothing to tie, there's no ribbon, it just creates a beautiful background, and it really gave me the perfect spot to add that snowflake die cut to, just to pop that snowflake even more off the page. See what I mean? Look at that. Now I'll just cut off the excess ribbon and add a few dimensionals to the back of my sentiment and finish the card with my saying. Now, what I'm showing you here is Stampin' Up! Has two different sizes of dimensionals, which I also love. So I'm using the smaller ones on my sentiment, where I use the bigger ones on the snowflake. So there you have it, popped right over the top of that card. Isn't it beautiful? The gold foil just shines so much. And then, of course, because I used a colored card base, you need to add a piece of white on the inside to be able to write on it. But here is the first card I did finished with some gems, and I used the low profile dots. Now these were in the clearance section, and I believe they're still available, but they are so pretty. There's petal pink and gold, and I am obsessed with them because they are low profile, and as a scrapbooker, that really matters to me. And then I'll go ahead and stamp something on the inside. So look how pretty it turned out. It's awesome, and I will link everything below. So thanks for watching.